There's nothing quite like settling into bed after a long day, ready to drift off into a peaceful night's sleep, only to find yourself lying there wide awake, feeling your heart pound a little harder than it should. Maybe you've even checked your blood pressure monitor and thought, why is it higher now than it was during the day? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many of us over 70 notice our blood pressure creeping up at night, and it can leave us feeling frustrated, even a little worried. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to stay that way. In fact, there are some simple, natural ways to help keep those nighttime spikes in check, so you can rest easier and wake up feeling refreshed. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Now, before we dive into the how, let's take a quick look at the why. Why does blood pressure sometimes rise at night, especially as we get older? Well, some of it has to do with our body's natural rhythms. During the day, we're moving, staying active, and our circulation is working the way it should. But at night, when everything slows down, our blood vessels can tighten up a bit, making it harder for blood to flow smoothly. Add in things like stress, certain medications, or even what we ate for dinner, and suddenly that nighttime reading starts climbing. The important thing to remember is this: small changes can make a big difference. And the best part? You don't need any fancy equipment or drastic lifestyle overhauls to see improvement. It's all about working with your body, not against it. So let's start with the first and often most overlooked factor: hydration. You might be thinking, wait, isn't drinking too much water before bed going to make me get up all night? And you're right, no one wants to be running to the bathroom every few hours. But here's the thing, dehydration can actually worsen blood pressure spikes. When we don't have enough water in our system, our blood gets thicker, and our heart has to work harder to pump it. That extra strain can lead to higher readings, especially at night. The key is to spread your water intake throughout the day, not just right before bed. Try sipping on a glass of water every hour or two and aim to finish most of your fluids by early evening. Herbal teas like chamomile or hibiscus can be a great option too. They're gentle, hydrating, and some studies even suggest they may help relax blood vessels. Just go easy on the caffeine, especially after lunchtime. Now let's talk about something else that plays a huge role in nighttime blood pressure: stress. It's no secret that stress can send our numbers soaring, but what's interesting is how it lingers. Even if we had a perfectly calm day, those unresolved worries can sneak up on us when we're trying to unwind at night. Our bodies don't just turn off stress because the sun went down. In fact, lying in a quiet, dark room can sometimes make those thoughts feel even louder. That's why building a relaxing evening routine is so important. It doesn't have to be complicated. Maybe it's a few minutes of gentle stretching, listening to soft music, or writing down your thoughts in a journal. Some people find that a warm bath with Epsom salts helps ease tension, thanks to the magnesium that absorbs through the skin. The goal is to signal to your body that it's time to shift into rest mode, not rev up for another busy day. And speaking of rest, let's move on to our next point: the power of breath. This might sound too simple to make a difference, but trust me, it's one of the most effective tools we have. Deep, slow breathing activates what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. That's just a fancy way of saying it tells your body to relax. When we're stressed or anxious, our breathing tends to become shallow, which keeps us in that fight or flight mode. But taking just 5 minutes before bed to breathe deeply can work wonders. Here's how to do it. Sit or lie comfortably, place one hand on your belly, and inhale slowly through your nose, letting your abdomen rise. Hold for a second or two, then exhale even more slowly through your mouth. Aim for about 6 breaths per minute. It's that rhythm that really helps calm the nervous system. You might be surprised how much of a difference this can make in lowering those nighttime numbers. Now we've covered hydration, stress, and breathing, 3 simple but powerful ways to start tackling those nighttime blood pressure spikes. But there's more to explore, including how certain foods and even your sleep position can play a role. So let's keep going, because the next steps might just be the missing pieces you've been looking for. Now that we've talked about hydration, stress, and the power of deep breathing, let's move on to something that affects all of us: what we eat and when we eat it. You might not realize it, but your evening meal could be quietly contributing to those nighttime blood pressure spikes. Think about your typical dinner. Is it the largest meal of the day? Do you find yourself eating late, maybe even close to bedtime? If so, you're not alone. Many of us tend to save our biggest meal for the evening. But here's the catch. A heavy late dinner forces your body to work hard on digestion when it should be winding down. That extra effort can raise your blood pressure, especially if the meal is high in salt or processed foods. Now, I'm not saying you need to give up your favorite dishes or eat bland food. It's all about balance and timing. Try shifting your biggest meal to lunchtime when your metabolism is more active, and keep dinner lighter. Think grilled fish with steamed vegetables, a warm bowl of lentil soup, or a colorful salad with some lean protein. And if you love a little something sweet after dinner, opt for natural choices like a small piece of dark chocolate or some fresh fruit instead of sugary desserts. Another thing to watch is salt. As we age, our kidneys don't process sodium as efficiently, and too much salt can lead to fluid retention, which puts extra pressure on your blood vessels. The tricky part? Salt hides in places you might not expect: bread, canned soups, even some healthy frozen meals. A good rule of thumb is to season your food with herbs and spices instead of reaching for the salt shaker. Garlic, turmeric, and rosemary not only add flavor but may also help support healthy blood pressure. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you: your sleep position. Have you ever woken up with a stiff neck or a numb arm and thought, "How did I end up like that?" Well, the way you sleep can actually influence your blood pressure. Studies have shown that sleeping on your left side may help improve circulation and take some of the pressure off your heart. This is because it keeps your body in better alignment and prevents unnecessary strain on your blood vessels. If you're a back sleeper, try propping yourself up slightly with an extra pillow. Sleeping completely flat can sometimes cause fluid to redistribute in ways that increase pressure. And if you're a stomach sleeper, well, it might be time to gently train yourself to shift positions. It can take a little getting used to, but your heart will thank you. Of course, getting quality sleep isn't just about position, it's also about routine. Going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time each day helps regulate your body's internal clock, which in turn helps keep your blood pressure more stable. If you find yourself tossing and turning, try dimming the lights an hour before bed and avoiding screens. Yes, that means the TV and your phone. The blue light from devices can trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime, making it harder to drift off peacefully. Now let's touch on one more key factor: movement. You might be thinking, wait, we're talking about nighttime blood pressure, why does exercise matter? Well, staying active during the day plays a huge role in how your body behaves at night. Regular, gentle movement, like walking, swimming, or even gardening, helps keep your blood vessels flexible and improve circulation. The best part? You don't need to run a marathon to see benefits. Even a 20-minute stroll after dinner can make a difference. But here's the important thing: timing matters. While movement is great, vigorous exercise too close to bedtime can actually raise your blood pressure temporarily and make it harder to fall asleep. So if you enjoy a little evening activity, stick to something calming, like a leisurely walk or some gentle yoga stretches. Save the more energetic stuff for earlier in the day. We've covered a lot so far: food choices, sleep position, and the importance of movement. But there's still one more piece to this puzzle, and it's something many people overlook: the power of connection. Believe it or not, loneliness and isolation can quietly contribute to higher blood pressure, especially at night when the house is quiet and the mind starts wandering. So let's talk about how staying socially engaged, even in small ways, can help keep both your heart and your spirits lifted. But we'll save that for the next part, because it's a topic worth exploring in depth. For now, try making one or two of these adjustments and see how you feel. Sometimes the smallest changes lead to the biggest improvements. You know, when we're younger, we rarely think about how deeply our emotions and social connections affect our physical health. But as the years go by, it becomes clearer: loneliness doesn't just weigh on the heart emotionally, it can actually impact our blood pressure, especially at night when the distractions fade away. Think about it. When was the last time you shared a good laugh with a friend, or had a long, unhurried conversation with someone you care about? Those moments do more than lift your mood. They send signals to your body that it's safe, that you're not alone. And that sense of security can help ease tension in ways you might not even notice. Now, I'm not saying you need to fill every evening with social events. That's not realistic, and for some of us it's not even desirable, but small, meaningful connections can make a big difference. A phone call with a grandchild, a weekly coffee date with a neighbor, or even joining a gentle exercise class at your local community center can help. Even pets can provide that sense of companionship. There's a reason so many doctors recommend them for heart health. And here's something fascinating. Studies show that people who engage in regular social activities tend to have more stable blood pressure patterns. It's as if the heart knows it's surrounded by care, and it doesn't have to work as hard. So if you've been feeling a little isolated lately, try reaching out in whatever way feels comfortable. You might be surprised how much better you sleep and how those nighttime numbers start to settle. Now let's bring everything together. We've talked about staying hydrated, managing stress, breathing deeply, adjusting meals and sleep positions, staying gently active, and nurturing connections. Each of these plays a role in keeping your blood pressure balanced, especially during those nighttime hours when your body is meant to be at rest. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one last thought: progress, not perfection. You don't have to do all of these things at once. Start with one or two changes that feel manageable, maybe drinking more water earlier in the day, or trying that left side sleeping position. Small steps add up, and every little improvement counts. And remember, you're not in this alone. If you've tried these tips and still struggle with nighttime blood pressure, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. Sometimes a simple adjustment in medication timing or an extra checkup can make all the difference. So here's my challenge for you tonight. Pick one thing from this video and give it a try. Maybe it's brewing a cup of calming herbal tea instead of that late-night snack, or taking 5 minutes to practice deep breathing before bed. Notice how you feel. Your body has an amazing ability to respond to kindness, especially when that kindness comes from you. I'd love to hear how it goes. Drop a comment below and let me know what worked for you, or share your own tips for better rest. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more simple, natural ways to take care of your health after 70. After all, every year is a gift, and with a few small adjustments, you can make sure your nights are as peaceful and healthy as they deserve to be. Here's to sweet dreams and waking up feeling refreshed. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.